Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CliniLaunch Research Institute. My name is Numan, and I'll be leading today's webinar for you guys. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about what is CliniLaunch Research Institute. CliniLaunch Research Institute is basically it's a bridge between the students who are looking out for various opportunities in the market and the market which has certain set of requirements, right? Because there is a lot of a gap between the skill sets that students come out from college, and then there is a lot of gap as to what the market requirements are, right? So CliniLaunch tries to bridge this gap within the healthcare sector, right? We have certain set of courses and upskilling modules for our students which drive the placements, or which help the students get placed into a better opportunities, not a job but an enriching career. Can anyone just let me know, your idea about what a career is and what a job is? What is the difference between job and career? See, if I just have to tell a brief about what is the difference between job and career is, job can be what you are doing right now as well, and what you would be planning to do in the next couple of months as well. But when I talk about career, career is not just something that you are doing right now, but career is something that you'll be doing in the later on aspect of your life as well, whether it is 5 years down the line, 3 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. So what CliniLaunch tries to do is, we are not just here to get you placed into a job, right? What we are trying to do is, we are going to plan to get you into a career where you have the next steps of your life as well. Whether it is 3 years down the line or 5 years down the line, we want to give you a roadmap for it, right? We want to help you out into getting into your long term journey towards whatever your passion is, or towards whatever your goals are. Okay, so let's begin with the objectives of this session. First thing is that, instead of talking about the objectives of the session, I would want to talk about the objectives of CliniLaunch Research as an institute. We as an institute, we are trying to help each and every student upskill themselves in terms of personality as well, in terms of technical knowledge as well, and in terms of job readiness as well. Okay, when I talk about upskilling, it doesn't mean that you're just going to hone one skill. It can be into an all-round development of you as a person as well. That is the reason you see the second point over here is personality upliftment. Now, when I talk about personality upliftment, it doesn't just mean one or two point of your personalities, but we are trying to help you out to build better habits, build better way of representing or presenting yourself in a certain aspects of your life. All right. And with regards to technical upgrade, yes, definitely we do have certain modules and certain technical preparations given to you in order to prepare you for your job in the future. Okay. Moving forward, this is just a brief about the journey at CliniLaunch. Okay. If you can see this, I'll just move around. So let's begin with the first step. As soon as you have completed your enrollment, we all have an orientation section on every 15th and 30th of every month. Okay, in this orientation session, we interact with the students. We try to get to know who you are. We try to introduce ourselves as well, and we give you a roadmap as to what you will be doing into this entire journey with CLRI. Okay. Then we have a training session for the LMS. LMS is nothing but the learning management system. We have a separate software and a website where you will be getting all your classes, whether they are live classes or recordings, you get both of them. Okay. Generally, within 6 hours of every class, we will be uploading the recorded session into your LMS. After this session, when your first class begins, we have a team introduction where our student experience team, that is the set team, they will interact with all the students one-on-one and in a group. And along with that, our placement team will also interact with you. We will also give you a brief about whom you have to contact or whom you have to stay in touch as your mentors, as your guides, and as your trainers who will be taking care of your entire course curriculum. Okay. Then next we have your corporate etiquette. I'm sorry. Next we have your corporate etiquette, which has a duration of 1 month. I will be talking about this and the technical modules in the upcoming slides. Okay. Next we have a checkpoint. The first month checkpoint, right? Then we have a 3 month checkpoint. Then we have a final checkpoint. Now, the first checkpoint. First checkpoint generally happens after 1 month. After 1 month, we interact with all the students who have completed their first module. we take a feedback from them, and we help you to understand, and we help ourselves as well understand key what are the requirements and how good you have been performing. Okay, then we have the second checkpoint, which again we have a course and performance feedback along with placement sessions, which will be done to you after 3 months. And then there is the final checkpoint where again we do a placement session way forward. Okay, here I will be explaining it to you in the future, like no next slides, as to how your talent mapping will be done and how your placement session will be done. Okay. Then after that, course completion will be done, and then the certificate would be available to you in your LMS. You can either download the certificate from there, or you can contact our team, share your address so that the physical copy can also be provided to you. Okay. After the entire process is completed, we will be adding you to the CLRI alumni group, where you will be able to network and connect with your seniors who have already been placed in some companies. Because see, you guys, I think so you understand, network is your net worth, right? These days you must have also seen ki it is not that easy to apply for a job, but if you're getting a referral through someone, har jagah, everywhere you see there is a referral bonus, right? Everywhere you go there is a referral bonus, refer and earn, refer and earn. So you have this alumni group to build your network, to see what skills are required in the market and what is that you are lacking and what you have to upgrade yourself as to. Okay, going to the next slide. These are the set of courses that we offer. Okay, clinical SAS, clinical research, medical coding, medical scribe, bioinformatics, and AI/ML in healthcare analytics. Okay, all of these courses are provided to you in terms of an advanced diploma course. So today I will be talking to you about clinical SAS, and the next person after me, Miss Somli, she'll be talking to you about bioinformatics. Okay, now let's begin. Before I begin about what and how is clinical SAS, so let's begin with the demand for clinical SAS. Now coming to what is the demand for clinical SAS is, now you must be aware about the fact that there are a lot of clinical trials happening in this country as well as on a global scale, right? As mentioned over here, that there are certain numbers that have also been mentioned. The clinical trial market is currently $49.8 billion, and in another coming 5 to 6 years, it is projected to grow by almost $30 billion, right? So you can imagine, when such a big growth is coming into the clinical trial market, there will be a lot of demand for people who are working on the data of these clinical trials as well, right? So clinical SAS programmers, they are basically going to be working only purely on the data of these clinical trials. Understood? Whether you are working with a pharmaceutical company, or you are working with a hospital, right? Or you are working with the CRO directly, you will be able to get a good career in terms of your salaries, in terms of your future growth, right? Now, if you are new to this field, then 3.5 to 4 lakhs or 4.5 lakhs income can easily be earned. And after a certain point of time in your life, after certain years of experience, that is 2 to 4 years, you can easily expect 8 to 12 lakhs. Okay. It is basically the statistical analysis, or the software analysis done on the data of what? On data of clinical trials. So whatever the clinical trials that have been conducted in the market, there is a set of data, the raw data, which is taken from different hospitals or different regions of this country, right? Or wherever the clinical trials are being conducted. So this data, we have to work on it. It's a raw data, right? It's a very jumbled kind of data. So you need to work on it. You need to cleanse the data. You need to validate the data. Then you need to do the reporting and analysis of this data, right? That entire thing comes under clinical SAS. Okay. Now, these are the different modules that we provide you when you take up the advanced diploma in clinical SAS with us. So the first module, we will be beginning with corporate etiquette and soft skill training. Then we have your aptitude preparation, right? Then along with this, what we do is we start up with the introduction to clinical research and introduction to clinical data management. Because see, you need to understand what clinical research is and what clinical data management is before entering into your SAS module, or before entering into your SAS software. Okay. Next, we have the introduction to SAS, working in the SAS environment, working with all the data. Then we have your proc SQL macros. And then we have the CDISC standards as well, right? Then we will help you with the clinical trials data structure, transform clinical trials data. Then we have this optional module of R programming language. Now, what we do in this entire 6 months of your curriculum is we also give you certain, assignments and projects where we will be helping you out with getting a practical knowledge. Moving forward, when I talk about corporate etiquette and soft skill training, can anybody of you tell me what corporate etiquette is? Soft skill तो I understand कि most of us know about the soft skill. बहुत लोगों को पता होता है soft skill क्या होता है. But what is this corporate etiquette? Can someone tell me? You can either write it down on the chat or you can speak out. See, I want you guys to interact. This shouldn't be kind of boring kind of a lecture or something. And I'm not a lecturer here, right?
Hi, this is Ume. I'm in here. A set of uh, rules or regulation while doing any work in
Mhm.
an association or a company. There is a proper set of rules that how the work should be executed. So,
Amazing.
God, yeah.
Correct, correct. That's absolutely right. Right. When it comes into corporate etiquette, there is email writing. Then there is how do you even message your manager, right? Basics of those as well. You can't just message your manager any random thing, right? You cannot talk to him like a friend. There is a professional way of writing emails or writing any kind of documents in the corporate sector, right? Now, when it comes to soft skill training, what we basically do is we try to enhance your communication, your verbal language. And along with this, our main motto over here is, what is the main motto? We do not want any of you to be afraid of anything coming forward, right? We want you to let go of your fears, the stage fear that you have, right? Or the confronting an interviewer. Many people are scared, right? Many people hesitate, they get nervous, right? We want you guys to come out of this. We want to help you come out of this. We want to break that fear out of you. That is why we have this corporate etiquette and soft skill training, to improve your skills and to empower you into getting placed, or being confident. Forget about placement. If you are confident in any aspect of your life, I think so, you need to be confident on yourself. So to build that itself, we have this program going on. Yeah. Coming to the non-technical part training, what we do is we do the talent mapping session, communication session, jam sessions, aptitude sessions, and group discussion sessions. I'll explain each in a brief. So what happens in talent mapping session is each and every individual has their own strengths. Each and every individual has their own weaknesses, right? So we connect with every student one-on-one, and we try to figure out where you are strong, where you are lacking. According to that, what role suits you best and what job suits you best, which sector suits you best, what career you have to take forward, all these things. Communication part, I just told you, communication is not about just talking to someone or representing yourself. Communication is also supposed to be an effective communication. So as I'm taking this session, if I'm just reading out whatever is written there and just keep on talking, and you guys don't understand anything, then this is not a called communication, right? This won't be effective enough. So what should be done is, if I'm interacting with you, when you ask me questions and I'm trying to explain to you and making sure that you understand, that is where effective communication works. Whether it is your body language, whether it is your verbal accent, or whether it is the grammar that you use, right? Then next we have jam sessions. In jam sessions, what happens is jam is basically just a minute. Okay, on the spot you will be given a topic and you will be asked to talk about that topic for 2 minutes, for 2 minutes or 1 minute or 30 seconds. We will ask you to speak on that topic. Whether you hesitate, whether you break down, or whether you don't hesitate, that is secondary. But we keep doing these sessions regularly, so that you are prepared, you are well prepared to whatever comes later on in the future. Okay. Then we have a LinkedIn session. These days, everyone knows that most of the things are happening on LinkedIn itself. Most of the job postings, most of the connections, most of the network building is happening on LinkedIn itself, right? So in this LinkedIn session, we help you to build your own LinkedIn profile in a better manner, and along with that, we help you to build your own resume as well. Okay, we have the resume building as well as we have the LinkedIn session. I see that Kavipriya, you've asked me. Can you just put it in the Q&A sections? Right, there is a Q&A section over there, and at the end of the session, our expert panel with regards to the placement training and everything, they will help you out with the same. I understand most of you have these kind of questions, so I would want you guys to write it down somewhere, so that in the end of the session or in the break of the session, you can ask all these questions. Our expert panels are sitting here. They are going to help you out with each and every query of yours, each and every question of yours. That's amazing, amazing. Now, coming to the aptitude and group discussion sessions. When it comes to the aptitude sessions, what we do in the aptitude session is, your logical reasoning, your logical thinking, your basic math calculations, and how easily you can, come out of a situation. There are certain things there. We want to check how fast or how quick your thinking can go, how quick you can react or respond to certain. So all these things come under aptitude, because most of the companies that are hiring right now, right, they only look out for your aptitude, for your communication, because these technical skills that we are going to train you, you can be trained on again and again. But these aptitude training things, no, they come in a very difficult manner to anyone, right? You need a lot of practice for this. So that is the reason we keep giving you continuous practice on these things, these non-technical trainings. Coming to the technical training, we have practicals, assessments, mock interviews, mini projects, then assignments, everything. We want you to be prepared completely, because see, when it comes to SAS is a practical thing to do, right? It's not into a theory part. It's completely practical. So what we do is we have divided the entire course module into three parts. The first part would be technical training. The second part would be we would be giving you an introduction on clinical research, and we would be giving you an introduction on clinical data management. So one module of CR and one module of CDM will be prepared for you. You will be prepared on that. The remaining months of your course curriculum, we will be giving you the SAS 9.4 software. It is a paid licensed version. We'll be giving you the software, and you will be working practically on that software. So every week or every once in 2 weeks, you'll be getting an assignment, a raw data set, which is given to us from the company itself, from the CRO system. It's a raw data set which you will be working on practically in order to gain knowledge about the practical knowledge. Okay. Then we have your mini projects. So as and when the companies give us projects, or as and when there are projects in the market, we start dividing them and giving mini projects to our students. Then we have assessments based on these itself. We don't have any kind of exam at the end of the session, 6 month or something, but we have regular assessments. After these assessments, there are one-on-one sessions which will happen with the trainer, and they will guide you through each and everything. They will individually tell you where you are lacking and what is your area of improvement and how you can improve into that. Okay, moving forward, what is clinical research? So basically, if I tell about clinical research, see, any drug that comes into the market, before coming into the market, there has to be clinical trials performed on that drug, right? And before even the clinical trials are performed, these trials have to be happened in the lab on the animals. After that trial is passed, then the clinical trials start on the patients in hospitals or in different organizations, right? So as you can read over here, it is the study of people, data, and tissue sample to understand the health and disease. Now, if there is one particular disease and there is one particular company who is trying to make a drug for that disease, they perform clinical trials on the patients in order to find out all the, whatever diagnosis it is, whether it is a side effect or whether it is curing that disease or not, or how much time is it taking, or whether it is preventable or not. All these observations are then, written down on all these raw data is maintained and then sent into the regulatory authorities, after which they pass on, they approve this, the FDA approves it, or the other regulatory authorities also approve it, and then the what do you say, medicine is coming out into the market. Okay. Moving forward, these are job roles that you'll be getting into clinical research. You can become a clinical research associate, a CRA, a coordinator, that is CRC. Then you can become a clinical trial monitor who takes care of all the operational things that are happening into the clinical trials. Then we have your principal investigator and co-principal investigator. Now, what is a principal investigator is, any clinical trial that is being done, there is one person who leads this investigation. Okay. That person is a doctor. He has to be a MBBS doctor or a postgraduate doctor. Okay. MDS, you can, sorry, not MDS, a master's person, right? So this person, without this person's authority or without this person's signature, there is nothing that can be happening in the clinical trial. Without his approval, there is no procedure that has to be followed. So before anything starts or before any procedure is taken care of, the principal investigator goes through all the documents and then approves for the clinical trials to happen. Okay. Now, in between, there might be a case of side effect or anything else. Then principal investigator has to itself approve for stopping the clinical trial on that particular patient. Okay. Moving forward, let's move on to clinical data management. So, any of you guys have any idea about clinical data management or what is clinical data management? I have almost told you a brief about everything. So, by now, I think so you must have gotten an idea about what clinical data management is, right? Let's try to break it down. Let's move clinical on one side and data management on one side. So now you guys will understand, right? Yes, Surbi, analysis of data. Yes, correct. So when it comes to clinical data management, you are going to understand how the data works and what the data is about and everything that is related to the data part. In which field? In the clinical trial field or in the healthcare field. Where if I generally talk about data management, the data is there everywhere, right? Whether the data is in uh, healthcare side or data is in finance sector or the health data is in IT sector, there is a lot of data in the market, right? So when it comes to clinical data management, people specifically in the clinical trial area, that data will be analyzing and validating. Okay. Now there are four parts into any data management, right? There is data extraction, then there is data validation and data cleansing, then you have data reporting, and then you have data analysis. Or you can do the analysis part first and the reporting part later. So basically, these are the things. These are the four important things that you will be doing, right? Now there are certain standards I mentioned in the earlier slide, right? There are two standards, CDISC standards that we move on with. CDISC basically means clinical data interchanging sets, right? Now there are two sets. One is the SDTM and one is the ADAMS, right? So what does SDTM and ADAMS stand for? Anyone knows over here? Any brief idea? Anybody has an idea of what ADAMS is or what SDTM is? Standard Data Tabulation Model. Yes, Chandan, that is correct. Standard Data Tabulation Model is SDTM. And does anyone know about ADAMS? What ADAMS stands for? Absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion. No, Janardhan, I'm really sorry, but this is not that. ADAMS basically stands for Analytical Data Set and Management Systems. That's okay. I understand all of you guys are new to this. All of you guys are freshers. That's not a problem. We make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Yes, analytic data sets. Correct. Analytical data set and management systems. Okay. So as your roles and responsibility into the clinical data, how would you move around? You would be a clinical data manager, clinical data coordinator, clinical data analyst, or a clinical chart abstractor. Okay. Moving forward, let's begin with the SAS part. So statistical analysis system. Does anybody know what SAS is about? What SAS software is? SPSS, R language. That's amazing. I see that you guys, most of you guys, have some or the other idea about this. It's not that, you guys don't know anything. You guys are pretty much experienced and, know about what you are applying for, right? That's really great to see. So let me begin with clinical SAS. See, before I talk about clinical SAS, I will just talk about SAS as a software. SAS is nothing but statistical analysis system. So when SAS came into the market, SAS was being used by majorly by banks and financial companies. The reason being SAS is one of the most safest and the accurate software because SAS is not an open source software. SAS is not open source like your Java or Python or any other programming language, right? SAS is a very safe software where your data is not going to be leaked in an easy manner, which is the reason why the clinical trials also they started using the SAS programming software for themselves. Now you can see over here, as it is mentioned, SAS is a software. It includes statistical work. It is used in biotechnology and pharmaceutical company for variety of tasks, right? So report writing, information retrieval, statistical analysis, and data mining. Okay, moving forward, as a SAS programmer, what are the three options that you have? First option is a CDM SAS programmer. Next, you have clinical SAS programmer. Then you have clinical data analysis, right? Now, I would want to, point out over here key someone I think so had mentioned earlier key as a fresher, it is difficult to get a job, right? As a fresher, someone had mentioned, I am not clear about it, but let me tell you something. See, whether you are a fresher or an experienced person, you will get to work on SAS. Now, there are four parts into working into the SAS software, right? The first part is data extraction and data validation and data cleansing, right? And the next part is data analysis and the data reporting. So now you tell me, as a fresher, would any of the companies want you to do the analysis and the reporting part? No, right? They wouldn't want to give you the huge burden of such a big data on you, right? So what they would do is they would just ask you to do the data extraction part and data cleaning part. That is why I have mentioned it as a CDM SAS programmer. You will be working on the SAS 9.4 software itself, but you will be working on the first part of SAS 9.4. On the second part of SAS 9.4, once you get a 6-month experience or a 1-year experience, then you start working on it, on the data reporting, on the data analysis, because there are little bit complicated terms and complicated, what you say, standards over there. I mentioned two standards before, SDTM and ADAMS, correct? So when we talk about ADAMS, analytical data, they are a little bit complicated to understand. Along with your experience, only then you will be able to understand it. Okay. For freshers, we generally work only on SDTM standards. Moving forward, before moving forward, I would want to also show you one slide over here. Okay. This is the enhanced salary trend for clinical SAS, right? This is your position level across this part, and this is your salary level. Okay. So as a fresher or an entry level, you have a chance of getting 4 lakh, right? 4 LPA. Then when you move on to the intermediate part, you have 6. As you grow, you have a chance of making almost, how much is that? 15 lakhs, right? So this time duration, if I have to talk about, from here to here, probably you would take 3 to 4 years, and from here to here, you would take probably 4 to 8 years. So this is a very huge kind of leap for anyone. Like, कि आपको 2 साल में, if you are getting 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs of jump, it is well and very good package, right? Now, coming up to the second slide, here you have everything of this in detail and the top companies as well, right? I have certain students whom I have also enrolled, and they are also currently working in these companies itself. They have taken up SAS only to enhance their skills and get into the job postings internally as well. Okay. So your growth path is also given, your education requirement is also given, and the best time for hiring is also given. So as you can see, the best time is in April or July, December, April, right? So now when you are planning to take up this course, if you are planning to take it up right now, then probably in another 3 to 4 months, your placement training would start, your what do you say, talent mapping would start, and we would start gearing up for interviews more and more for you guys. Right. So you can see, along with the years of experience as mentioned here, we use any programming language for SAS. Yes, when it comes to SAS, SAS is itself a language in one. Secondly, we'll be using your R programming language as well, and we will also be using Proc SQL and the macros as well. So we will be training you on Proc SQL as well. Okay, we have a module separately for Proc SQL and macros. We will be giving you a separate training on those as well, along with your advanced diploma. It is included in advanced diploma. Okay, coming back, as I mentioned, we have an R programming module as well. It is a very important add-on module for SAS programmers, because these days there are many companies that are requiring R programming module as well. They want candidates who have a knowledge of R programming. They want candidates who have worked on R programming as well. Okay, what is R programming used into? It is basically used into data analysis, or statistical computing, or data visualization. Now there are two parts of a clinical trial, right? Whatever I explained to you, that is the second part of a clinical trial. That is after matlab, once the clinical trial has been performed, these are the things that will be happening to you. Now, preclinical trials, before the clinical trials begin on human beings, there are certain biological aspects of it. There are certain genetical aspects of it which has to be taken care of, and those data sets also have to be taken care of. So our programming will also be used by bioinformatics or bioinformaticians in order to generate the data with respect to your genetics and with respect to your biological matter. Okay.